24 CR 005972F, Imani Davis, charged with 1 count of battery and a 2nd count of willful obstruction. Pretrial.
11 total, 2023 battery. 2023 FTA, 2023 battery that was dismissed. 2023 trespass damage conviction. 2020 battery DV conviction. 2019 a freight conviction. 2019 trespass obstruction conviction. 2015 disorderly conduct NOLO, and a 2015 CWAC first offender.
Okay.
Your Honor, this incident happened back on August 23rd at 254 Peachtree Street in Atlanta. Officers went to that location, witnessed 2 females involved in a physical altercation, and observed the defendant strike a Miss Jane Doe in the face while causing a laceration above her left eye. The defendant was placed into handcuffs, and she resisted by failing to stand up and dropping her weight down and refusing to cooperate. Miss Jane Doe was also taken to Grady, at which point she was released from Grady, and the defendant was transported to the jail. Given the circumstances, Your Honor, the state is agreeable to a $3,000 SOB through pretrial services. Stay away from 254 Peachtree Street, 2 days of anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I do not believe Jane Doe is, Jane Doe's real name, so we don't have further contact because I'm not sure exactly what the name is, but we are looking into that and doing further investigation. That's all for the state.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah,
Judge, we don't have any objection to, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We don't have any objection to a pretrial signature bond. As far as any stay away, this happened in front of Gateway Behavioral Health, where my client is currently in treatment. So we would ask that there not be a stay away from there. The other person who this fight was with, my client does not know, and that person was 1013 Jane Doe. We don't know her name. That I do believe that there's an argument to be made that that person was having an episode, significant episode, and initiated the altercation, but we're totally amenable to all the other terms, totally fine with, as long as it's a signature bond and no stay away, so she can continue getting treatment at Gateway.
Okay.
And Your
All
Honor,
right.
it would be a $2,500 signature bond on the battery, $500 on the willful obstruction
All right.
for the breakdown.
For the breakdown, right. I will order that $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, $2,500 on the battery, $500 on the obstruction. With that signature bond through pretrial, the 2-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Just make it a 1 day. Well, actually, I don't know if, it sounds like she wasn't the aggressor, but just do a 1 day. It's free through pretrial.
Well, it need to be level 2, and it's per judge due to the violent criminal history convictions in the past. It's weird.
Yeah, that's why the state asked for a 2-day.
Okay, well, let's go back to the 2-day. 2-day, level 2. We'll do that.
It's per judge, Michael.
And per judge. All right.
Thank you, Judge. We're completed here at ACDC.
All right, thank you.
Next, we go to position number 1.
This is, all right, 24 CR 005973F, Gerda, Concom, 1 count of battery, family violence, pretrial.
First.
Okay. State.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened back on August 23rd, 2024 at 1400 Riverwood Lane, Unit H in Roswell. This incident occurred when the defendant, hold on just a moment, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies, I have a little bit of a whiny dog next to me. All right, so there was an incident where the two of them have been dating for the last 8 years, but living together for the last 3 months. They were sleeping in the same bed, but the defendant, apparently the victim did not want companionship, Mr. Albert Arthur. So he got up, tried to leave. She got upset with him, began wrestling him, and bit him. They did speak with Mr. Albert Arthur, and observed bite marks on his right arm. Both upper and lower teeth marks were visible on his arm. They asked the defendant what happened. She stated that while ushering him out of the apartment, she pushed, pulled, and bit him. And then she stated he kicked and hit her during that incident. No marks could be observed on any visible portion of her body. As this is her first offense, we are agreeable to a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Albert Arthur, and a stay away from 1400 Riverwood Lane, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, particularly no firearms. We would like to sound for Mr. Albert Arthur at this time.
Mr. Albert Arthur.
And if he's not there, it's my understanding that he's been trying to get into the jail to speak in regards to this case. I did have contact with him this afternoon. He called me stating that they would not allow him in to testify on Ms. Cam's behalf.
Who is on the Zoom is Galaxy S23.
And we couldn't just send him a Zoom link for him to appear?
He has difficulties with his connection and telephonic issues, so he thought it would be easier for him to appear in person. And speaking to him was very choppy when I tried to talk to him.
Well, no, we'll keep moving.
Did he express any desire one way or the other in regards to the?
He did. He does desire. He expressed to me that he does desire to have contact and remain at the residence. It's my understanding, speaking to my client, that that's actually her apartment. Her name is on the lease solely. This was an argument over a blanket that escalated beyond either one's, I guess, beyond what they anticipated. Both my client and the alleged victim desire to have contact. My client doesn't have a violent history. She doesn't have any history. She would like to be able to return home. Mr. Arthur has been residing there for the past couple of months. And so I would be requesting a signature bond. My client is employed. She works for Westdale as an asset management, as well as a leasing consultant. She's been there for close to a year now. She has an associate's degree. This is kind of a one-off type situation where I don't believe there will be any further difficulties between my client and the alleged victim.
And Your Honor, as you well know, the fact of whose name's on the lease is irrelevant in a domestic violence situation. I would like to hear from the victim if he could join the Zoom, even briefly. Anything's better than just not being here at all, since we have also not been able to get in contact with him. But the state agrees to a signature bond. It's just the terms, whether there is a stay away and a no further contact or not.
Yes, Your Honor. And as an officer of the court, I have spoken with Mr. Arthur and his brother. So I had to call his brother to get in contact with Mr. Arthur, who called me. I can make arrangements if the court would like to hear from Mr. Arthur. I can attempt to call his brother and see where Mr. Arthur is at this time. But he did state that he was en route to the jail and was trying to seek access into the jail to speak on my client's behalf.
All right. I will order that 3,000 signature bond. I guess I will order it through pre-trial or jail. I'm trying to figure out. I want her to take a anger awareness course.
Well, Your Honor, since this is an SB 63 case, family violence battery, it would need to be ordered through pretrial services.
All right, through pretrial, and then a 2-day anger awareness course through pretrial.
Board Price lawyer, come on. What was the bond amount?
I'm sorry.
Bond amount?
Oh, 3,000 signature bond through pretrial.
But the judge hasn't finished.
I hadn't
pronouncing the
finished.
bond
Yes.
order.
Okay, and so we're going to have a no further violent contact with Albert Arthur. And then I guess we won't do the stay away since he's okay with that. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you have a question about the bond?
What level?
Oh, level 1.
Next, Judge, we have number 8, Ms. Davis.
Okay. This is 24 CR 005972F, Imani Davis,